better.
The best sounds come from the best artists, and no one knows sound better than KSHMR and W production, your trusted source for EDM sounds. If you want your kick to hit harder, feel tighter, and pack a clear, solid punch, this will be the only kick shaping tool you will ever need. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 basic beats I've been working on in a few different genres, and I'll use KSHMR Essentials Kick to improve the kick sounds found within them. First, we'll start with a simple bass-led 4 on the floor beat. To me, the kick sounds pretty thin and narrow. I'll start by turning the plugin on and soloing the track. There isn't much sub-information in this kick, and I don't want there to be, since the bass is such a heavy part. However, the kick and bass are in G, so I would like to accentuate that frequency a bit. Now let's give it a bit more mid-frequency tone for some more thickness. And we'll add some air for a little more crispness. I'll increase the transient knob to make it more snappy. And then add some tape saturation to thicken it up some more. We'll add a touch of multiband compression, as well as some single band compression to make the kick punch. And I'll add a slight bit of width to make it sound bigger. Now, I'll just adjust the output so that it's approximately as loud as it was before we added the plugin. Let's hear it with the plugin turned off. And now turned on again. Here's a fun beat, but the kick is pretty dull. The kick is in A, so I'll adjust the root note and add some more sub-frequency to the sound. Now I'll boost the mids and also the highs to my liking. Let's increase the transient knob for a snappier kick. And now I'll add a decent amount of tape saturation for some added grit. I like the sound of the multiband compression. And I'll add a bit of single band compression as well for added punch. Lastly, let's make it a little wider. Again, I'll adjust the output gain so that it is the same volume as before we added the plugin. Now let's hear it with the plugin off again. Next, let's see how it sounds on this one. The key here is an E, and I'd like to add a bit of bass to this kick. I think with some added mids and air, the kick will sound fuller as well. The kick is already pretty snappy, but I'll add a slight amount to the transient parameter. To me, it's sounding a little sterile, so I could use some saturation. The kick is pretty punchy already, so I'll just add a small amount of multiband and single band compression. Let's finish it off with a touch of width. I'll adjust the output gain again. Now let's hear it with the plugin off. Here's a housey bass line-based beat. I've got a pretty thin kick because it has to sit well with the bass. It's in C sharp, and I'll accentuate that a bit. I can turn this knob pretty far, and since there's not much sub in the kick, it won't make a huge difference. I'll increase the mids and add a bit of air, but not too much because it's already weighted pretty strongly to the higher frequency side. The kick is quite snappy already, so I'll just add a small amount to the transient parameter this time. Let's thicken it up with some saturation and give it more punch using the multiband and single band compressors. Lastly, a little width never hurts. I'll adjust the output gain so that it matches up with the volume before. Now let's hear it in action. In this one, we've got an 808 kick. Let's take a look at the waveform rather than the frequency spectrum so we can see how our edits change how the kick behaves. The main kick is in D, and I'll push up the sub a bit. Now let's add some mids and some highs. It's relatively snappy already, so I'll just increase that a touch. Now to get it sounding great on all speakers, we'll add some overtones using the tape saturation. Let's use multiband compression to add punch and some increased filling of the frequency spectrum. Now I'll push it hard with the single band compressor. And add some width to the sound. Now I need to lower the output gain, and let's compare it with how it sounded before. KSHMR Essentials Kick is perfect for getting all kinds of kicks sounding punchy, present, and professional. This plugin is now available for free at waproduction.com. And if you enjoy the plugin, you may want to consider buying the full version of KSHMR Essentials, which is designed to help you improve your non-kick elements as well.